So Megan is being compared to everybody from Ina Gardner to Gwyneth Paltrow to Martha Stewart to just every domestic goddess that ever lived. But there's only been one domestic duchess. So really, I don't think it's a fair comparison. I mean, Gwyneth and Martha and Ina and all these people, they are domestic goddesses in their own right. And Meghan is a domestic duchess, which is very original, I think. I, for one, these pictures I think are from her days when she originally began her domestic duchess journey. I mean, she had no way of knowing that, of course, she would end up marrying a duke at that point. But these pictures were all of her domestic duchess training. And you can see that she was a duchess from the start. I mean, even before she met Harry, you see in her posture, you see in just her whole dossier, her whole portfolio just reads like a duchess. Like she knew from the start that she was going to be who she was and that she almost even, charted her own path. I mean, it's just so inspiring because you can see, look at her. She's always been someone who loved flowers, who loved decor, who loved gardens, who loved beauty and clothing and, cooking and so on. She was a foodie. I mean, the Tig is named after her favorite wine, so the idea that she needed a Gwyneth or a Martha or an Ina or whatever, I mean, I guess somebody had to be first, right? So even among those three women, Gwyneth, Ina, and Martha, I suppose we could say that some one of them copied the other, right? Or no? I mean, were they all originals and only Meghan is the only one who copied someone? Everybody from the beginning of time since Eve, you know, bounced off others and, got ideas, got inspiration, built upon from others. I mean, that's the nature of the human experience. Martha, Gwyneth, and Ina did not all start out together at the exact same moment. So if you're going to say that Meghan copied Gwyneth, then who did Gwyneth copy? If you're going to say Gwyneth copied Martha, who did Martha copy, right? There's no such thing as original, domestic goddesses because every woman has a home. Every woman. It's like telling me that I'm copying some other woman in the way that I put my little apartment together or my life together, which would be the biggest insult to me because I feel like I'm very original. I like what I like. Of course, I didn't make anything in my apartment. Someone else made it. So someone else had the idea for that particular thing. But I think the combination of it, the combination of things that I have chosen in my home are very personal and show my personal style as compared to anybody else's. But there are going to be some commonalities no matter who you are, whether it's me, whether it's Gwyneth, whether it's Meghan, whether it's Oprah, whether it's, the woman living across the street, whether it's the woman living in Indonesia in her little hut. We all have our own sort of domestic DNA, if you will, right? And I just think it's just so, I don't know. It's not that it's unfair because at this point, just saying it's unfair doesn't really capture what they're trying to do with Meghan, but she's always had these inclinations with gardening, with beauty. You can see it even in the way that she writes, I mean, I don't know who she copied, but the writing, I mean, you have to educate me with that one. But she was always someone who paid attention, I think, to the details And with her blog, The Tig, it's so good that she had that, because you can see that it's something that she's always been interested in. The idea that, oh, it's Goop. Goop was not the original blog like that. Martha preceded Goop. And before Martha, you had people like Julia Child, and, just all kinds of people in the world who, once television was available, showed little snippets of these, inclinations and tendencies that a lot of women and men have. You also have male domestic goddesses, people who love food, they love, decor. It just would be, for me, for someone to say, oh, the things I like to do in my life is like I'm copying anybody. It just would just kill me. So I can imagine how, Meghan must feel very sort of like, you know, ruffled or bothered. Maybe, I don't know, because I do think it takes a lot to ruffle Meghan. I mean, she's just very zen. She does her yoga, her stretches, and she's just like done with them. And then she just gets in her office and she just works on her stuff, what she's doing. She stays focused. And, as an entrepreneur, I think she understands that not every venture works. Not every venture as an entrepreneur will come to fruition, will succeed. Every entrepreneur knows that that's a part of the game. You have to fail not just once or twice, sometimes like 10, 100 times before you find the right combination. And frankly, with the TIG, I think she found the right combination, but then she met her husband. So the royal family, was too large to permit her to continue with her work. She should have never given up her work. She should have never given up her work. But I think now she sees that. I wish that she had known ahead of time, and then I think she would have done everything so differently. And she would have, I'm not sure why that's doing that, but she would have just eloped with Harry and moved to California from the start.